So that's where I'll leave it.
And here's the thing. People need to understand that's one of the reasons that you might not be hearing anything from her, nor Skip Bayless or anybody else, because they can turn around and sue. And they got their, I mean, think about the allegations that have been thrown out against them. Think about, the need that they may feel to retaliate. And as a result of that, I think that is even further requirement for people to be careful. But let me tell you why I wanted you on here, Tori, because I have to admit, I'm pretty pissed off. Now, there's a few people's names I'm not going to mention because, damn it, they ain't worth it, okay? And I get that. But there's a few men out there that
Talking about Jason Whitlock, I believe.
are acting like, this is the perfect excuse to justify why we make the argument that women don't belong in the industry, which is an incredibly egregious thing to say, okay?
We're not saying that.
They'll look at any woman sitting in a host chair or any woman that's a reporter out there or any woman that has to walk into the locker room and all of a sudden their credibility is being questioned. My thing, what I'm more appalled at by rather even that is the women all over social media that are allowing it to happen. And that's why I wanted you on the show today, because I said, I'm not going to speak about it just from the male perspective. I'm going to have a female in front of me that I can bounce this off of to check me in case I'm wrong about this. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't spend a lot of time looking all over social media, but I'm looking at an abundance of women, and I'm saying the allegations. I understand what the allegations are. The allegations of Joy Taylor slept with Charlie Dixon and and she did it while she was married. And well, first of all, the marriage part is her business. It's nobody else's. The boss situation obviously is dicey. Make no mistake about it. You got a girl that was supposed to be her best friend that's supposedly diming her out right now. That's incredibly unfortunate.
That doesn't matter.
One could easily argue it's really not about your guilt or innocence. It's about how guilty I make you look, forcing you to capitulate to the demands that I'm making civilly. We can get into that a little bit later. But what I find most egregious, Tori, is the abundance of women out there who are laughing, who are pointing the finger at Joy Taylor with a profound level of guilt as if they know. Even when they throw in the word allegedly, they do it with smirks on their face, sort of dismissive, because in this business, we know how to speak with our body language, not just with words. And not only that, they're using it as an excuse to question her credibility. Now, I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. We don't know what level of truth or falsehood exists with the allegations that Nosheen Faraji has thrown in the direction of the executive at Fox Sports, Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor, or anybody else.
Listen, man.
She belongs to the streets.
Stephen A. Smith is at it again. He has bad political takes, and he's always trying to pull the race card for no apparent reason. Stephen A. Smith goes off the rails quite often. The reason why there's some women that are laughing at this particular thing, I guess what he's saying, or that are talking about this, is because they also believe that this is pretty disgusting. The allegations are pretty disgusting. You have this woman here who is using herself and she's sexualizing herself to get a professional position when other people have to work for it. So, Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley, saying this is all heterosexual situations, can't just go and sleep with Charlie Dixon and say, hey, are you going to give me a position? No, it's not how this goes. And so the women are saying that this is disgusting. And this is why there are some respectable women out there that work their tails off, that want to earn respect from people in the workplace. And this right here is absolutely disgusting. They don't want to be this way. They don't want to be looked at this way. They don't want to be that pretty girl that goes to the office and they're looking and wondering, how did she get there? Right? Is it going to happen? Sure. But when you have allegations that come out like this and people are validating stories that worked at FS1, this doesn't look good. Right? We'll talk about what it looks like on the woman's side of things. But just these allegations are disgusting. And Stephen A. Smith just can't call wrong. He just can't. Like, this is the same man who just says, basically, I regret voting for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, this and that. But you were talking bad about Trump the whole time, and all of a sudden he wins, and all of a sudden you want to flip flop on the fence and be, a Republican now, or whatever you want to call your independent self. Like, what Stephen A. just he straddles the fence too much for me. This particular situation, Skip Bayless is wrong if he offered her $1.5 million. Even if it was in a sarcastic way, it's wrong, okay? But the reason why the Joy Taylor situation is more being focused on more is because she was going to do the sexual harassment case on Charlie Dixon. I just think the hairstylist got to it first and exposed her move, and so now it looks bad for her if she decides to still do the Me Too thing. There's so many problems with this story. And I can't stand if you can't call wrong wrong. See, you know what Stephen A. Smith reminds me of, y'all? And y'all tell me if y'all agree. Stephen A. Smith reminds me of the guy you can't bring around any girl because they don't have a backbone and they're very agreeable men. And you could talk to Stephen A. about something and y'all got an agreement on something. But if a woman is in the room, he switches his stance. That's what Stephen A. Smith reminds me of. He's the guy you can't bring around your girl because he's going to try to do some foul and nasty stuff. Listen, Joy Taylor, what she's being accused of, the accusations are absolutely wrong. They're disgusting. And if you're able to just sleep around, then that's not safe for her, number one. And number two, if she can just say, oh, I just feel like he harassed me one day. And you know what? Yeah, he harassed me for the last 2 years. But she was really giving into it. That's wrong. That is wrong. So yes, there's so many problems with this. And Simpin A. Smith, I call him Switching A. Smith when we talk about politics, but Simpin A. Smith doesn't get it. See, if it's a man, like men have been accused of in this particular instance, the men's, their reputation is shot, endorsements are gone, and a lot of them can't even work in that same industry anymore. They're done, right? Like something that just comes to mind is just like think about Jonathan Majors, right? Just like it was a little bit different, but like think about his name. When you think about his name, you think about that court case first. Men get dragged through the mud in the court system every day. People like Joy Taylor try to use their pretty privilege and then lie to the court, and then someone else's entire life is messed up because of her lie. Because there's no accountability when it comes to women sometimes when they do these things. They're not the ones getting locked up. They're not the ones being fined. They just get to walk away scot-free. If you guys have followed the Trevor Bauer story, he was an LA Dodgers pitcher. He was set up by a woman that said that he hit her and beat her. And then the story came out a year later that it was false. Nothing happened to the woman. But that man had to literally relocate, play overseas, he had like some millions of dollars of a contract. I can't remember the number, but it was substantial. He literally had to get out of that. It ruined that man's life because of this lady's lie. This is why we're focusing on Joy Taylor. What's her name? Tori and Stephen A. We're not getting off of Skip Bayless. We're not getting off of the other allegations in there, but we are focusing on Joy Taylor because most of the time, Joy Taylor is usually the one that files first and the damage is already done at that point. But she was exposed by her hairstylist and it's wrong. So let me know y'all thoughts below. Just let me know y'all thoughts below, how y'all feel about this. Simpin A. Smith is at it again. He's going to pull the race card. He's going to pull the sexist card. I think he wants to, him and Cam Newton think they're just off. But let me know y'all thoughts below. All right, let me get up out of here. Like I say, after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm going to see y'all at work.